dose of fentanyl, great enough to potentially kill nearly 1 million people.
Serious accusations tonight against a well-known Seattle activist who feds say was helping to operate a deadly drug ring that spanned across several different states. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to West Coast Wrap. I'm Alex Savage. New details are emerging tonight about this years-long fentanyl trafficking investigation. More than a dozen arrests have been made, including several members of one family. And as Fox 13's AJ Janavel reports tonight, authorities say one suspect is connected to a community organization that helps at-risk youth.
A face for change in front of cameras.
We can come here to criminalize people hanging out.
Marty Jackson held the role of executive director for the Boys and Girls Club SE Network, a group fighting against gangs and community violence in Seattle public schools, parks, and working alongside police. Jackson demanded change after violence in South Seattle.
I think it's a testament of the resilience that we all have.
City numbers I obtained show her organization had access to millions of taxpayer dollars for its cause. Just in August, the mayor's office used Jackson's voice to promote its millions in safety investments. But now, federal officials are revealing a dark side to the local changemaker.
It involved many members of their family.
Calling Jackson a money launderer for her family's deadly fentanyl operation, quote, through structured deposits and using her account as a pass-through for money changing hands between her sons and members of the crime ring. A crime ring where federal agents say Jackson's home was used to store guns and drugs, an operation accused of specifically targeting Native communities for drug sales.
The significance of this case is a family drug trafficking organization expanded beyond Washington state.
In the public fallout, local organizations are seemingly cutting ties fast. Jackson's image and info is wiped from the Boys and Girls Club's website, only visible here through the Wayback Machine. The mayor's office tells me they met with the Boys and Girls Clubs of King County immediately because of the arrest, but city officials would not tell me what came out of the meeting and deferred me back to the Boys and Girls Clubs of King County, who never responded.
And that was Fox 13's AJ Janavel reporting tonight. The feds have made 17 arrests in this case, and they say Marty Jackson and her husband have both been released on bond. We turn now to a developing story we're following tonight in Northern California. That's where a wildfire in Lake County has about 4,000 people under evacuation orders and warnings tonight. Over 400 acres have already burned near the community of Glen Haven, that is near Clear Lake. Red flag conditions are also sparking spot fires all across this area. And CAL FIRE says about 2,500 homes are threatened tonight by the flames. Officials said they'll be bringing in more hand crews tonight to try to establish control lines around this fire, as well as 2 night-capable helicopters.
Our firefighters on the ground are working on re-engaging to fortify their control lines, move into their new areas. They're being supported. You probably have seen the helicopter flying up above my head as we're doing water drops to support those control lines to try to keep that fire where we're at right here.
CAL FIRE says they do have reports tonight of 2 buildings that have been destroyed by the flames. Earlier, you can see here from these pictures from Sky Fox, one of those homes completely engulfed by fire. Another fast-moving fire is forcing people to evacuate tonight southeast of Boise, Idaho. The Valley Fire started this morning near Highway 21, and already it's burned an estimated 4,000 acres. Officials have not said whether they have any containment on this fire so far, but warm and windy conditions are expected to challenge crews on the ground there in Idaho throughout this upcoming weekend. Obviously, we have talked about the ongoing heat wave across the West this week, and it has the potential to set another record in Phoenix tonight. Here is a live look at conditions in downtown Phoenix, where temperatures soared well above 100 degrees today in the valley. And if temperatures here in Phoenix don't fall below 79 degrees by midnight tonight, that will set a new October 4th record for the hottest low temperature. For more, let's bring in KTVU meteorologist Mark Tamayo, who is tracking conditions bringing this persistent heat, and we're not going to see relief for several days, Mark.
Yeah, that's right, Alex. And I think Phoenix will have a fairly good shot of with that record low temperature overnight, because the overnight temperature will be 78 degrees, but still it's going to be very warm throughout the evening hours. Take a look at some of the highs from this afternoon. Tucson 106. You can see in Southern California temperatures in the 90s, upper 90s in Riverside. In the Bay Area, San Francisco lower 80s, San Jose 98, Sacramento 100 degrees. Once again, we are tracking excessive heat warnings in red and heat advisories in yellow, focused in California, but also out in portions of Arizona as well, including the Phoenix area. Showing you this was Phoenix today. Of course, the heat, the big story, a record temperature, 108 degrees for the afternoon high. Breaking the old record of 105 degrees. In San Francisco was another warm day with temperatures in the lower 80s, 82 degrees. Tomorrow will be warmer. And then up in Seattle, they're not talking about heat. They're talking about some rainfall with a system that moved on through. And pretty impressive rainfall total, just over half an inch of rain in Seattle with temperatures only in the lower 60s. So we're talking about the heat to the south and then the cooler rain up to the north. Right now it is 103 in Phoenix, Las Vegas in the upper 90s, 97. Portland, Oregon checking in 61 degrees. And here's the big view on the satellite. As you can see, it's fairly quiet with the exception of all the heat out toward parts of the west. But here's that system that moved on board in Seattle and Portland earlier today. That is moving on out of town. So it looks like we're talking about clearing skies in your weekend forecast. So the sunshine makes a comeback in Seattle tomorrow. It is a hot day in the San Francisco Bay Area, 80s to even San Francisco will be close to 90 degrees for tomorrow. Sunny and warm out toward Denver, and still talking about the heat in Southern California and once again out in the Phoenix area. In terms of the rain showers, we're going to clear things out up to our north, so it looks like a dry pattern that wants to hang around, but it's a hot weather pattern as well. Here's the distribution with temperatures. San Jose, the Bay Area, 100 degrees. Down in Southern California, Santa Clarita, 105. And then out towards Scottsdale, 108 degrees for tomorrow. And also a big football game with the Arizona Cardinals visiting the San Francisco Bay Area on Sunday. And heat will be a factor as well. Temperatures approaching the low to mid 90s. So here is the breakdown over the next 3 days. As you can see up in Seattle, a sun-cloud mix. Temperatures actually comfortable in the 60s to the lower 70s. Compare that to the Bay Area, San Francisco, upper 80s to right around 90 degrees. Los Angeles tomorrow close to 90, and then a little bit of some cooling by Sunday and Monday. But the one constant throughout this period is the heat in the Phoenix area. Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, temperatures talking about that dangerous heat. It's October, but we could be tracking temperatures close to 110 degrees. So just amazing. This heat stretch will continue over the next few days.
Yeah, incredible to see that kind of heat this late in the season. Okay, Mark, thank you. Vice presidential nominee Governor Tim Walz is planning to tour the West over the next few days. He's kicking off a fundraising blitz in San Diego tomorrow afternoon. After that, he'll attend another fundraiser in Montecito, California tomorrow night. That's near Santa Barbara. On Tuesday, he plans to attend campaign receptions in Sacramento and Seattle. Vice President Kamala Harris is in the battleground state of Michigan. That's where she held a rally late today in Flint, laying out what she wants to accomplish if elected president.
I will give a tax cut to 100 million Americans, including $6,000, extending and expanding the child tax credit. So during the first year of a child's life, young parents have the support they need to be able to buy a car seat, to buy a crib, to take care of their child during that first year of their life, knowing it's about setting them on a path to do everything they have a natural desire to do.
The vice president plans to visit areas of North Carolina that have been ravaged by Hurricane Helene tomorrow. The death toll from that storm is now up to at least 220 people across 6 different states. Former President Trump traveled to Georgia today to survey the damage left behind after Helene. More than 200,000 people in Georgia are still without power tonight. Trump, along with Governor Brian Kemp, headed to the town of Evans, where they received a briefing on the storm. Trump blasted the Biden administration's response to the storm, but added that this situation is bigger than the campaign.
I'm not thinking about voters right now. I'm thinking about lives. And to be honest, it's much bigger than anything else. But we're thinking about lives, a lot of lives lost, a lot of people missing. And that's what I'd be focused on right now. This is President Trump's second visit to Georgia just this week.
More resources from here in the West are headed to that hurricane zone. A team of 400 Pacific Gas and Electric workers left California headed for Georgia earlier today. 300 trucks are in tow, and those PG&E workers will help utility crews restore power across the state of Georgia. And a similar mission for some Pacific Power employees who are based in Oregon. That utility has a team of 22 people and 20 trucks headed to Georgia. Rocky Mountain Power, a sister company to Pacific Power, is also deploying crews. Coming up tonight here on West Coast Wrap, an update on that decision by Los Angeles County prosecutors to examine new evidence in the Menendez brothers' murder case, what their attorney is saying about how the brothers feel about the latest developments. Also, a new way to make your home smell just like your favorite Las Vegas casino. We'll tell you about the company creating unique scents for many of the major resorts along the Strip. Police officers in Portland are searching tonight for the mother of a 2-year-old who died from a suspected fentanyl overdose. They believe Mary Jacobo has been involved in several crimes, including carjacking, since her daughter died back on September 12th. They have not said whether she's wanted in connection with the child's death. Jacobo is considered armed and dangerous, and authorities are asking anyone who spots her to call 911. New details tonight on that major announcement in the Menendez brothers murder case. We told you about it last night here on the show, as prosecutors are now considering whether to grant a new trial or to resentence them. And now TMZ is reporting Eric and Lyle Menendez were both watching from prison as LA County District Attorney George Gascon announced that his office is reviewing new evidence in this case. The brothers are serving life sentences for shooting and killing their parents inside the family's Beverly Hills home back in 1989. TMZ talked with their attorney, Mark Garagos, who believes the brothers should have been charged with manslaughter rather than murder, since there was evidence they were sexually abused by their father.
They actually, saw and heard Gascon make this announcement, and you can just imagine how hopeful they are. They had exhausted all of their appeals, going back something like 17 years now. So there was no real prospect of them ever being freed. So they had no real hope that they'd ever get out from prison. And now all of a sudden they were told, by Mark Garagos that they are very hopeful that they will, in just a couple of months here, finally be out of prison.
And the Menendez brothers were 21 and 18 years old when they admitted to shooting their parents to death. Fox 11's Christy Fajardo takes a closer look tonight at this case that captured national attention.
What I would like to have them over for Thanksgiving dinner.
On Fox 11, attorney Mark Garagos says he believes new evidence will finally set Lyle and Eric Menendez free. The brothers have been behind bars for 35 years for killing their parents, Jose and Katie Menendez, in Beverly Hills. Now the LA County DA, George Gascon, is looking at the case.
We have not decided on the outcome. We are reviewing the information, but I think it's also important that we recognize that both men and women can be the victims of sexual assault.
Among the evidence, Garagos says, is a letter written by Eric 8 months before the murders, detailing abuse at the hands of his father. It was found among his late cousin's belongings 9 years ago. Garagos also says a former member of the boy band Menudo signed a declaration stating he was molested by Jose Menendez, who is the head of RCA Records.
None of this information has been confirmed. We are not at this point ready to say that we either believe or do not believe that information. But we're here to tell you that we have a moral and an ethical obligation to review what is being presented to us.
The brothers' attorneys argue that evidence might have changed the outcome of the trial had it been available. But earlier this year, the original prosecutor stood by the conviction and her words decades ago.
This is a first-degree, premeditated slaughter of 2 people.
Still, the Menendez defense is hoping Gascon is open to resentencing and that the brothers' conviction will be reduced to manslaughter and to time served.
Maybe now people can understand the truth.
Now, a Netflix series on the murders is generating international interest in the case and renewing hope, Garagos says, that they'll be released.
The family is almost uniformly behind the idea of bringing them home.
And a hearing on the issue of a new trial or resentencing for the Menendez brothers is set to happen on November 29th. Tonight, there is a new leader of the Los Angeles Police Department. Former Los Angeles County Sheriff Jim McDonnell has been selected as the new chief of the LAPD. McDonnell was one of 3 finalists for that job. He served as LA County Sheriff from 2014 to 2018. McDonnell began his law enforcement career with the LAPD 43 years ago. He says his goals include enhancing public safety, adding more officers, and preparing for upcoming major events.
We have a lot of training to do. We have a lot of build-up to do before the World Cup in 26 and the Olympics in 28. And we're committed to being able to do that so that as the world watches Los Angeles, we're all going to be very proud of what they see.
The appointment of McDonnell follows the surprise retirement of Chief Michael Moore earlier this year. Moore's time was marked by greater scrutiny into excessive force and police killings of civilians. Some high school students in Oregon hope staging a walkout sends a clear message about safety to their school leaders. Fox 12's Nora Hart spoke with students and parents who are upset about the way the school handled a recent case involving a gun on campus.
It was crazy. Like the second I heard that, my heart dropped.
Dozens of fired up Gresham High School students walked out of class today.
I think it's extremely important for us to be out here using our voices in large numbers because admin has never really seen a reaction like this from students before, and we believe it's going to be more impactful if they see it from us versus anybody else.
Students say their school administration did not do enough when a student brought a loaded gun to school on Friday, September 20th.
I was in second period. I was in theater class. The teacher, they put us in the corner. Like we thought we were in lockdown. Like we thought it was a drill.
I never found out until literally the end of the day when I got on the school bus.
I feel like a lot of people did feel unsafe just because it was an actual loaded gun inside the school.
Thankfully, no one was hurt that day, but now Gresham Barlow School District leaders are facing backlash because of how the situation was handled. The school was not put into lockdown, and many say it took too long for the student with the gun to be turned over to police, leaving students on campus scared and confused.
I also feel like the way it was handled, they didn't really alert nobody about it, that we went on secure mode. It wasn't an actual lockdown, so they were just micromanaging people and yelling at them and forcing them to go into classes. They weren't telling them like the reason why it's not safe to be outside of class right now.
Parents also showed up for the walkout.
My daughter should not be worried about her life showing up to school every day, and that's very concerning to all of us.
At the school board meeting Wednesday, students also spoke about how the school alerted parents about what was happening.
I had to tell my mom that it was a gun because the way they worded the email was a weapon. And usually when I hear weapon, you know, it's school grounds, I think, oh, maybe a knife.
The school district issued a statement saying, quote, "The Gresham Barlow School District expresses its thanks to the building administration and campus monitors who worked to swiftly identify the armed student and take the student to a secure location. Thanks to their courage and commitment, we were able to avert a tragedy." Back on campus, students say more needs to be done to keep them safe at school.
We're sick and tired of this. It's gone too far along, and we just need to know that people do care about our lives and they will do something better for us, and it's just ridiculous.
Nora Hart, Fox 12 Oregon.
The Biden administration will be able to move forward with its student loan relief plans. A federal judge will let a temporary restraining order against the loan cancellation plan expire. This means Department of Education can finalize regulations. The case is being moved to Missouri, so the judge there may put a new stop to the plan. It has been controversial, but it could help about 75% of people with student loan debt. Coming up tonight here on West Coast Wrap, the nose knows for many Las Vegas visitors. Tonight, how resorts are standing out by the way they smell and how you can bring those scents home. Plus, a special gift for a 109-year-old Arizona woman. See what's improving her quality of life. NASA astronaut Tracy Dyson is sharing stories from her 6-month mission aboard the International Space Station. Dyson, who is a UC Davis alum, spoke on NASA TV in Houston about her journey and the importance of the ISS. As part of Expeditions 70 and 71, she served as a flight engineer and took part in a 31-minute spacewalk. Dyson highlighted one of the groundbreaking scientific studies she conducted.
3D printing of human tissue to create cardiac tissues as well as previously meniscus tissue. And I just think that from a standpoint of exploration, that's incredibly important as we think about staying where we're going as opposed to just visiting, but also here on Earth, what we can learn from this type of technology in that environment.
Touchdown.
Dyson's mission also included remotely controlling a robot and conducting protein crystallization experiments. She returned to Earth from the ISS on September 23rd alongside 2 Russian cosmonauts. All right, forget about the casinos, the live entertainment, the shopping, and the restaurants. Many Las Vegas resorts are using signature scents to try to keep customers on their properties. Fox 5's Molly McBride introduces us to one man who's helping drive this strategy on the Strip.
From Caesar's Palace,
they wanted guests to smell the statue of David with the bed of roses that was around him in the main lobby.
Mandalay Bay.
They originally wanted a coconut with attitude. So we played around with some ginger and clove and cinnamon.
To the Wynn.
The direction coming down from Mr. Wynn was, I want people to just smell the flowers.
Aroma Retail CEO Jim Redding can describe this smell to a T. He says smell completes a resort's design and can even increase profits for casinos.
So they'll say, listen, this area is doing really well because it's right off the entrance, so these slot machines are doing great, but those slot machines over there, they're not doing so great, and we'll start scenting over there, 30-40% increase in gameplay.
Even though Redding developed this sense, Aroma Retail doesn't currently supply them. That's because you can't copyright or patent the way something smells.
Because it's going to smell differently in different spaces. Well, the Asian garden at the Aria smells a lot different than the Asian garden at MGM Grand.
Meaning those scents can be bottled up and sold, so your house can smell like your favorite resort on the Strip, which is actually why Aroma Retail started in the first place. Redding says his hotel clients wanted candles that smelled like their lobby, and his wife, Christina Redding, jumped into action.
And I said, well, I can make candles. I couldn't, but I learned.
Molly McBride, Fox 5 News, local, Las Vegas.
And finally, tonight, a 109-year-old woman in Arizona received a life-changing gift today that's given her the ability to hear better than she has in many years. Grace Lifechanging got new hearing aids in Phoenix today through the Miracle Ear Foundation's Gift of Sound program. It provides free aids to those who otherwise couldn't afford them. Her grandson says Grace is a lifelong giver who lived through World War II and even helped one Jewish family to evade the Nazis. And now it's time to give back to her, and they certainly did that. What an incredible gift for Grace. That does it for West Coast Wrap tonight. We appreciate you watching. As always, have a great rest of your night. We'll leave you here with this beautiful sunset shot from San Francisco.